think I have a call about something. It's not a specific to talk about the conflict. It's about like our relationship and about like the way we are going through, and then to can inspire other people when they have conflict or when they have a relationship also, and it's helped them in the way we don't need to agree, and how we can stand for each other in an honest and open heart in this when we have like a really tough time or hard time, like what we're going through now. What do you think, Aura?
Yeah. Even when we talk about young people, also people who are feeling lonely and lost a little bit in what's going on in the world, I think that what we can offer from our relationship maybe can be of some use to someone. Okay. So my name is Aura Hammer. And I live in Israel. I live in the Galilee. The Galilee is the part of Israel that's in the north, and it's near Lebanon. And it's a beautiful area with streams, wildlife, country, and a very calm place normally, with good relations with people, as much as can be said in my country. I was not born there. I think this is a big part of what made me who I am. I was born in the United States, and to a Jewish family. My father was a rabbi, religious, and my mother grew up as a young girl dreaming of the new state of Israel that had been made when she was 13 years old, after the Second World War, after the Holocaust. For both of them, this was something very special, beautiful, like an ending of thousands of years of Jews longing for a home and feeling the persecution that they had felt in the world. And my mother dreamed of being a part of creating this new place, a beautiful new home for the Jewish people. We only moved there 20 years later. I was 16 by then, 16 years old. And I didn't feel Jewish. I didn't feel connected to my roots at all. But I said, okay, I will come with my family. And 2 months after we came, there was a war, the 1973 Yom Kippur War. And for me as a 16-year-old, it was a big shock, big eye-opener. What does this mean for me, for my people, for my friends? I'd never been in a war before. Just like many people who are listening to me young people. War is something that they didn't know if they're born after World War II, maybe, hopefully. And it was frightening, but I also saw some very special things about how people come together when they are in danger and how they help each other. And after that, I felt I belonged in Israel. And I stayed. And I made it my home. And when I got married and I had a child, and I lived in the Galilee, which is in the north, which can also be a dangerous place. Some of the wars were in the north. and there were more wars. And having a child suddenly made me feel like, wow, I have to protect my child. What does this mean? And for me, it meant maintaining relationships, seeking peace, saying, no, I don't want my son to be in a war. I don't want my son to hate his Arab neighbors, his Palestinian neighbors. I don't want him to fear them. And this is a bit about where I became a peace activist. As a woman, as a mother, I said, I need peace. I need peace for my child to grow up in a different world.
Um, I am Itaf Awad. I born in the Boria village. It's close to Mount Tabor. And also in a Mount Tabor we have a church like this, two churches. And when I was 9 years old, it was a war in '67, and the people, also my family, they still have the trauma from the war from the Nakba in '48, and my mom and we are hiding in the cave in the neighbor, and my grandma, she said, I will not going to any place. I will stay here in the garden. I will hide in the garden like how I did in '48 in the Nakba when they are established Israel and when they have the occupation. And my grandma told us, like the women and the children. My brother, he was 2 years old. He born in '46. And my mom, they hide, and the church, they protect them. All the women in the village and the children, the church protect them. And the man, they went to defend the village. And my grandma, she stay at home. And I thank really to my grandma. She stay at home, and also I am there, and I'm still in my homeland. Because all my uncle, the other part of the family, they are refugees in Syria and also in everywhere. And to grow up as a second, third generation of the Nakba, it's really not easy. For me, like my family and also the Palestinian in Israel, for me they did the peace. If they are agree or not agree, they did the peace. They share the land with the Jewish came and they establish Israel. If it was they was in agree, if the Palestinian agree or not agree, already they have the state. And I wasn't really in awareness about the conflict and talking about it, because we are not allowed to say we are Palestinian. We are not allowed to show the flag, and just anyone, they was like punished if we as a Palestinian have Israeli citizenship. And until the '76, I was in a 12th grade. I was 17 years old when like the Israeli government continue to take more land from the Palestinian in Israel, and this is first time the Palestinian did demonstration. And even I didn't really have the knowledge much about the conflict, and just I went. We are the 12th grade. We take all the children from the school. We did demonstration, and then the police killed 6 Palestinian. They shot them in the demonstration, and one of them, it was a woman from Sakhnin. And after that, I was like, my father died, and I took responsibility of my family, and I started to work in the local council as, and also I put in my vision to raise my family and to help my family, and I wasn't really interested in any work as a peace work or even as a activist. As in 1998, I related with a group of women. It's called Women in Black, and they are do action against the occupation, and they seeking for peace and to end the occupation, and also call it Daughter of Peace. I was with them, going every Friday, standing in the junction with a plaque and have like a placard, like, and say, stop the occupation. And then it came the year 2000. Every time like something happened in the second intifada, in the occupation territory 67, it's the second intifada started, and then we did demonstration, the Palestinian and Israel, we have a demonstration. Again, the police, we hear just because in that time it was like a holiday for the Jewish, and no TV, and just like we have a radio, and we listen to the radio, and they says, yeah, it's one person killed by the police in this village, and this person killed in this village from the Israeli police because they was demonstrate. And my nephew and my nieces, they were really young, and they was told me, you continue to believe in your Jewish friend, look what it's happened and look what it's there. And I felt like I afraid like for the children to lose their humanity. And also I decide in that time I decide to take like action rather than to sit at home as a victim. And I feel I'm not a victim. I have the right to live in peace and justice like any human being in the world. And since this time, I started to be like an activist in a peace way, and also going to the demonstration, going to any way like it's bring like justice for my people. And also in the last years, like I talked with Aura, we was like sitting together. I told her I am connect with anyone in the world they want to bring to do good to the planet, to the human being, to the trees, to the nature, in anyone in the world. It came like my life. In 2003, started the way of the council. It's my friend, she told me, it's a teacher came from America, they teaching its way like art of communication. And then I sit in this council. It was like all the participants, there was speaking Hebrew and only me speaking Arabic, and the teacher speaking English. I didn't understand the English, but I felt everything in my body, and I get to remember. It's reconnect me to my root, to my grandma, and I felt I was in this place. In our traditional, we have a council. It's called diwan in the Arabic. And my grandma, she was a healer and a midwife, and there was women. When the diwan in our culture, it's like only men, they sit there. They want to take a decision if they have a conflict, and every like a week they sitting, and my grandma, she was sitting with them, and me, I was as a child going there. And all this story I told you now, I forget. And the way of counsel reconnect me with my grandma and reconnect me with all the stories I am saying now. And then Ronici, also Ronici bring the way of the council, and with Leonberg from America. And Ronici told me, yeah, we have another group of women, Palestinian and Israeli. They are meeting, and I say it's enough for me, and I am with a way of counsel, enough for me. I don't want to get more, and it was Ramadan, I was fasting. And then I went, I say, okay, I will go. It was in the north, where Aura live, and in this time I met Aura. Just I was looking to Aura, and it's with the long hair, white. This woman, it's interesting from where she came from, very far, 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 far place from the mystery. I want to know her. And then she can tell the end of the story.
So this place we met was also, it was a women's peace group. It was called Beyond Words. Nitzan Gordon was the woman who created it and held it. And it was near my home in the Galilee. And we'd been meeting for over a year when Itaf joined. And what we did in this group was work on how to create peace within ourselves, but together. The Arab and the Jewish women together. And it created wonderful bonds of communication, of connection, of friendship, of laughter, of tears. It was beautiful work. And Itaf was there also. And I still didn't know council, but Itaf joined us in the second year. And one day I heard a laugh. And I looked, and it's Itaf laughing. And if you have not heard Itaf laugh, you have not heard a laugh. And I said, who is this wild woman?
I had the chance to listen to her laugh.
Yeah.
Very good.
And I said, I need to bond with this woman. There is something here that really connects between us that I need in my life. And so we got to know each other there. And then Rinat, she came also to do counsel one day in this women's group in one evening, and she invited us. And there was another training by another teacher that was being offered, and I said, wow, I like this. The women's group is great, but there's something about counsel that seems simple and correct and deep. So I went to the training, and that's how I learned counsel, and how I began to be connected more and more with Itaf. And one year she invited me, she had been invited to Cyprus, through the Women in Black, right? For a kind of conference, interfaith conference of women. It was also held in a monastery like here, but in Cyprus. And we went together, and that was when I really felt that I got to know you, and we shared a room, and we shared our fears, and we shared our longing for peace, deeply, deeply connected.
Yeah. And also we started, it was like an organization, it's called Sulhaway, it's reconciliation. There was like a conference, Palestinian and Jordanian and Israeli, they come together, and also they was a bring people, peacemaker from out the country. They invite us to teach council, to lead council in this conference. It's a big, big conference in the nature. and also we meet there. And also one day I invite my family. They came, my brother and a sister and nieces, nephew, and your father came.
He was also invited to,
Yeah,
as a rabbi.
Yeah, your father come, and also my family. They get to meet your father in this a conference. It was in 2005, I think. It's many years, yeah. And after that, like we create the leadership organization. It's a listening circle, and we work together in many groups, in women, in children, in the school, during the even during the pandemic. We lead international council by Zoom, and also this time people also interview us, or we lead also council by the Zoom to get people to know about us and also to hear the story. And since this time, and our relationship also when it gets like when we get to the war, or something happen to the Palestinian, when the settler they are attacked, or when they like something happen in Gaza. For me, I closed like in 2009. I am part of organization. It's called Timor's Women. We bring like Palestinian and Israeli girls. Since 2004, I am part of this. I am a team member of this organization. And in 2004-5, we had the young women from Gaza. And in 2009, one of them, and with another 3 daughters, when they bomb their house, they are killed. And their sister, they was in the hospital. They bring them to the Tal HaShomer hospital because their father, they was working there as a doctor. And then like I was working with Aura and also with Yasmin, and they called me. No, even we was in a retreat in Jerusalem, Palestinian-Israeli women. We was there, you was there, and Yasmin also, she was there, my sister, we was. And then called me, and then I went directly from Jerusalem to the hospital. I stayed with another girl. They are injured from Gaza. I stayed nearly 2 months with them. And when Ora called me, I told her, I can't talk with you. I can't talk with any Jewish. And my brother looked to me. He was like, told me, how you told her this? I say, she will understand me. I was knowing like Ora, she will not left me, because we practice this way, like a way of counsel. It's how to be compassionate and patient to the other, and I can bring my voice and my story, and also it's a space for my story and a space for her story, even it's not, we are not agree. And after 1 week we meet and we talk and we share, and then we continue to do what we are doing. And every time it's happened, the same thing, it's happened this time.
Almost every 2 years there's some kind of war with the Palestinians and the Israelis. And it gets worse and worse. Our government doesn't listen to the need for peace. And so every time we go through this, how do we speak to each other? How do we hold our pain, share our pain? And yet know that my pain is not her pain and her pain is not my pain. We can share the trust and the connection without taking on each other's stories. And each time it's difficult. There have been so many times when we couldn't talk for a few days, and then we get back together and we sit and we talk again. And we hug each other, and we cry together, and we laugh together afterwards. And we come closer and closer, like we've become sisters. We really have become sisters.
Yeah, even we have a group together, like
Called sisters.
called
WhatsApp
Sister.
group, sisters.
With my sister also.
Yeah.
And it's called Sister. And every time, like when I need support, and also the same thing, also they get like, really friends with the families. It's not, I say we are not making peace, we are live the peace.
Yeah.
Like we living daily life, like the peace with our families, with also, yeah, it's not only me and Aura, all my family also, they know her family. And it's like we was here sitting under the trees when I told Aura, wow, our like relationship and how we are working in our relationship, it's like cutting in
Cutting into the skin,
cutting the skin in the even in the bones, and then it's their infection, and we are clean it, and every time we work deep and deep and deep, and it's getting like more soft, more understand, more keep standing for each other in the middle of the storm. It's not really easy, but if we are believe, like for me, because I believe this is like the way, because it's no way, and this is the way, and I believe not to give up. Sometimes I feel when I saw like what's happened now to the people in Gaza, and what's happened, it's like the genocide and everything, like what's happened, it's worse, and sometimes I get depressed. I don't want to do nothing, and when we are talking with each other, we empower each other and to continue to do together. Sometimes alone I couldn't, and yeah.
For me, life is all about relationship. To be a human being is to be in relationship for me. And how do I deepen my understanding of relationships so that I can be in a light relationship with someone I barely know, but hold on to a relationship that is precious to me and learn from it? Because when I'm in a relationship with Itaf, we have to work so hard to keep it sometimes. But we have a need to keep it. And so this need keeps us going, cutting into this wound, into this infection and cleaning it out. Holding on to each other in the middle of this wild storm that we're living in. And saying, no, we will protect each other. And I learned from you about what's going on in Gaza. And you learned from me what's going on with my family, how my son lost his home from the war. And all the different things that I go through. How my home is being bombed so often right now with rockets. Your home now is also being bombed, but in the beginning of the war, it was my home. And it doesn't end the war. And don't see that our relationship can help end the war. But keeping our relationship helps us keep our humanity. It makes us sure that we will not change into warlike peoples. And
to keep hope, like if we lose the hope, we lost everything. And it's not easy to lose, to keep the hope, because it's sometimes this what it's happening is bigger than me, and it's easy to lose the hope and the struggle. And I hear from someone in Gaza says like hope it's resistant, and it's like to keep the hope with like the wars will end. It will be everybody have in the world, even in all the world, like to have place, safety and dignity, and place for the children to be safe in all the world. And this is my hope. and they have a freedom. Like any human being, they deserve to live in a freedom and to have their own, how to say it, their life, like to own their life without any occupation, without anyone like tell them what to do, and just everywhere. And also I know, like I related with all the places, like with wherever they have, like in Sudan, in Russia, and
Ukraine.
yeah, and every the world, it's getting really change and hard, and how we can hold all this, and it's the people like together. It's coming from, it's not from the government. Like the government, they are not care about it, and the people, they care of it.
One of the things I've learned in this war is how important it is for people to create safe spaces for each other, to hold safe spaces for them, whether it's to be safe when I walk down the street if I am persecuted, or it's safe for me to speak my voice when I need to speak my voice, and I could be hurt for this, I could lose my job, I could be killed for this. We have to create these safe spaces for each other. And maybe no place is safe, but safe enough to go forward, safe enough to stand up, safe enough to be together. This is one of the things that I'm learning more and more, what it means to be safe enough to be together, to offer something small to someone. And I've also learned how it is to feel to be without hope. For many, many years, I've been working in women wage peace volunteering in this huge women's organization that for 10 years it's been around. And I've been with it for 10 years. And I would go around Israel and I would talk about hope, and I would be giving people hope, and I would say, you cannot live without hope. We need to maintain our hope. We need to sustain our hope. We will always have hope. And for the first time on October 7th in this war, I began to feel I'm losing my hope. And I said, who am I? Where am I if I don't have hope? How can I live if I don't have hope? And then I met with some Palestinian women in women wage peace who were looking for a safe place to voice their fears and their needs, and I helped create it for them. And at the end of this meeting, when I heard them speak their voices and to feel more and more safe and more comfortable, I said, okay, I don't know if I have hope, but I've just learned that I have the persistence to keep up until I find it again. So now I know that I can live without hope because I have persistence. And sometimes I see glimmers of hope too. Even if the world changes every morning into something I don't know and I have to learn to live with.
And also for me, in the morning when I wake up, and my friend, she sent me a message, when you are back, are you back? I say no, until now. Tonight I'm flying back. And she sent me from the newspaper, she sent me, look what's our news. And it's since like 5 years, when like the Habit October, it's happened 5 years ago, and it's more violence and criminal between, like inside the Palestinian community in Israel, and also illegal guns, and also the protection group, and it's part of like how the policy, it's happened since like the Israeli, how it's treat the Palestinian, it's not equal. And all the sources, like from the budget, from the industry area, from the and also the government, they recognition that they are not treated equal, and every time they put like a program for it and how to give more budget for the Palestinian Israel, and then it's nothing happen, just in the paper. And but all this thing bring violence and people killed, and the police, it doesn't catch anyone, and the people, they are feel free to do that because they know it's no punish. Until now, 205 Palestinian killed, and they killed today they bombed a principal in a school in his car, and it's really hard. And this is more like for me, like I have a worry about the war, and I say, okay, one day the wars will finish and they will do like a agreement, or they will do something. But what about this in my society, and this mafia and the criminal thing, when it will end, and when they will have really stop this. And it's really worry, and it's not safe. It's not safe for anyone. We can like shot when we are in a market, or when we are in the street, and it's from this group. And the police, it doesn't interested in that to catch them, or to. I'm sure they know because how? Because they know how they know, like someone they want to kill them in another country or in another place, and they didn't know who is have the gun, illegal gun, and who is like do the commercial, and just this is hard, yeah, and it's really scary also. And many people they are when they are afraid. I know people, they are afraid from this commercial, let's call it, not commercial, protection.
Like the mafias.
Yeah, the mafia, and they left the country. They left their home.
You know, when you're speaking of that, I feel for many years there's been wars in our country, and one of the things that I feel that the reason for it is also because when we created the state of Israel, there were many problems. There's problems between the Arabs and the Jews, but there's also problems within the Jewish society, between the poor people and the rich people, between the darker peoples and the lighter peoples, between the educated and the uneducated, and there's so many issues. And I feel very often that it's much easier for governments to have this war. As long as we have a big enemy outside, we don't have time or money or the ability to take care of what's going on inside our country. So, like, this is there are so many reasons why there is war. You know, for me, the biggest reason is just the power. It's the people who sell guns. It's not between us. It's between those who want power and those who want to live their lives safely and well.
Yeah, we continue to do what we are doing. The important thing, not to lose the hope.
And to find it if you lost it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. How are you feeling now?
Good.
I want to thank this beautiful place
Yes, it's really
for holding us with the birds in the background and the trees and the autumn leaves and the good air. And thank you. for asking us, for offering this.
Yeah.
Because for me it feels the best and the safest when I know people are listening. That gives me hope.
Yeah, the nature, it's healing for me. Yeah, I get the power from the nature. Thank you, Peter.
Counsel is a very ancient practice. Probably your great-grandparents knew some form of counsel. Great-great-great-grandparents, maybe. Like your grandmother, who knew Diwan. It's a very simple practice of putting relationship and community and communication as the basis of life. If we have a good solid foundation, then we can do anything we want to do. If we have the trust, if we know we are being heard and understood, if we know someone can share our heart, then we can move forward. We can be together. We can do anything we need to do. So what we do is we speak from the heart, and we listen from the heart, and we offer our stories, the essence of our stories, so that people can receive them. And this is the basis.
Yeah, we are share stories from our experience, and also we share like the wisdom, like we say it like when we ask a question and we get the answer from the wisdom of the circle of the we didn't get advice, and we are not interrupt, and just be and listening from the heart. When I am listening to your story, I give you the opportunity for you will listen to yourself and you will get the answer. Mm-hmm. And all this, like we practice like the four intention, talking from the heart and listening from the heart, be spontaneously and to be lean. But we have agreement or rule. It's this rule. It's help how to build health community. It's everything saying in the council stayed in the council. We share about outside the circle about our experience, and I can share about my experience without to say Peter say that and that and that, or after the circle, because we create safe container for everybody can feel safe and open his heart. And when we get out the circle, the energy it's be different. And then we says we are not coming and to ask you about the story you share in the council. Just if I want to relate or to continue, just I ask you, I can ask you, and if you say yes, I can. If you say no, we respect the privacy of everyone.
But like we said, it's a very simple practice. We've been doing it for 20 years, and we still argue, and we still get angry at each other, and we still hurt each other. But we know how to work with this and say, okay, this is a gift. Let's see what we can do with this. And then we find our way again to go deeper and to find a deeper, more authentic place in our relationship through this.
Yeah, and in the council we say it, we are be aware. This is what, like I be aware about awareness about my feeling. Like even like if we are argue and then after that we call it inner counsel. I do counsel with myself. Why I have this thing, and when I be aware, it's easy to solve if it's any problem. And also, usually I say we practice the muscles of the heart to be patient and compassion. It's easy to talk about it, but it's not easy to practice. And how much we are practice in our, it's not a technique, it's a daily life. We live in it, and if I live in it, I can walk my talk. And always I say the miracle is the simplicity of this way.
So we honor your grandmother. We created we have a website. We call it D1 City, which means my grandmother's council. And anyone who wants can find a little bit more about us there if they like.
Yeah. And also, I have also a website in English, www.itafawa.com, and also about like a council. And we are happy to offer this way. Like I feel we get a gift and we share it with everyone. Say, ask us and also ask me. I say yes, and I translate the book to Arabic. And then
Maybe you say which book?
the way of the council. We translate it from English to the Arabic, and also I write the introduction in it, also about the story with my grandma. And it's because like I want to have like opportunity for the people they are not speaking Hebrew or speaking English to be like easy for them, because it's like we say talking from the heart, and we talk the mother language, and it's this is the mother language, it's language of the heart. And I went to Egypt, to Jordan, to the West Bank, and also in 2 years ago I trained also young group from Gaza by Zoom. And it's just like I get photo from young women from Gaza. They are in the tent there, and she showed me the book. She read in it, and also she practice now in the middle of the war. And it's like I felt really gratitude. I have this gift I get and share it with everyone. Thank you.
The question in me right now is, what can we do, young people, for peace?
For me, I've been hearing many, many stories about young people who push these difficult stories away when it's not their story. And it's too much, and it is too much. I'm not asking you to bring war in your life, but I really wish for young people not to close their hearts, but to keep their hearts open to each other and to practice making better relationships with their parents, with their spouses, with their children, with nature, with the world. And we talked about awareness, to be very aware of yourself and of what's going on in the world, but with compassion. Because if I don't have compassion for myself, I cannot have compassion for others. So this is awareness and compassion, and making sure to work on creating relationships that are quality, that serve you and serve the people you're with, and hopefully serve the world.
Yeah, and I know like the young people, they are really, it's not in like our age or our grandmother or grandfather or even it's because all the many information and many thing, because all the development of the internet and all the world, it's came like a globalization and many information, and it's really too much for this. I feel it's really, I feel hard for this young people about their life to deal for all this, the information, and to have like time to connect with themselves and to be little bit far away from the screen. Yeah, from the screen, and to have relationship between each other, and also share experience, share stories. And I know it's needed now, because this is the generation. Yeah, and just to have the time, and even they can use this for but because I hear a lot of abuse in this phones or screen, and to use it in to health communication, to use this and also to have the time just to communicate in compassion and patient, and without like to release from the ego, because to, how to say it, to release from the mind and all the things, to connect to the heart. First, to be compassionate to ourselves, to be compassionate to their self, and then we can be compassionate to the other.
And don't forget to have fun.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes is from Howard Thurman. It says,
And laugh.
don't ask what the world needs from you. Ask what makes you come alive. That's what you need
Yeah.
to do in the world.
Yeah.
So working with Itaf makes me come alive.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for sharing.
Thank
your
you.
stories.
Thank you.
Thank you.